Jo, to start with, can you just talk us through the decision process at 10 there? So, got Arabella with Taylor having sort of run with for Taylor House to hand.
Yeah, so like we said at the start of this, we're trying to increase depth within the squad, and Tala has done really well with her first few starts, but the experience of Bella means we're starting her at in our first WXV game.
I guess Bella from off the bench, the chick kicked to Kaitlan, so she sort of created a bit more spark. Is that what first a bit more maybe playmaking from Bella? I guess have you sort of seen her attitude when you sort of explain the process of giving Patala this chance to start, but ultimately giving her the sort of saddle by the time David Fair's album?
Yeah, look, Tala's been really deserving of her start. She's been training really well with us, and Bella's been super supportive of her. Bella's been great in the squad in terms of understands the bigger picture for us in a World Cup year. But yeah, she came on and she got the back line moving, and we're looking to we really want to play and move that ball against Wales. So Bella's a good person to do that.
Remember the first time as coach, you named her completely unchanged score attack. Like, was there temptation to sort of swap paces in, or was this deciding factors to keep that so good?
Yeah, look, we wanted to have a little bit of consistency in there, and thought that the forwards on the whole gave us some really good football with their carries. So we want the same again from them this week.
Discipline, how big of an issue was that sort of last week, and how much of a focus has it been, just sort of particularly those sort of last 5-10 minutes when the game goes like a bit of the balance and you can't be giving away sweet penalties like half the team?
Yeah, discipline's been a really big focus for us, and just some of our decision making at times as well in key areas as well, and that comes from that kind of game understanding, which with the number of tests and games that these girls have played is a lot less than Wales. And at some of those key moments, we kind of, we let ourselves down a little bit. But having said that, we've come away and we've learned from them, and the girls have been really positive.
But in saying that, I think 11 now and your 15 have over sort of 15, 20 caps. Like, this is a squad that's starting to build that test experience. Do you sort of have to lay down more to be like, well, we can't afford to do this against teams like Wales, otherwise this is the sort of fate we sort of see the
Yeah, look, the girls and us are pretty hard on ourselves, and we've been working really hard. We don't cover over the cracks. We have those honest conversations on a Monday morning, and the players know exactly what they need to do. We're certainly not sugarcoating anything. Everybody knows that those discipline errors weren't good enough, and we need to learn from them for next time.
And it's funny for me, just that ability to sort of beat new environment, play a continent like that trip to South Africa. How's that gone about just sort of getting Andy to the squad after 2 tough losses to start this first squad?
Yeah, the players have been fantastic, and because I think they can see how much actual growth we had against Wales in certain areas. But also, if we can sort out our discipline in those key areas, like you've alluded to, then we've got a really good opportunity shot this weekend.
Hi, Joe. Just a couple of quick ones from me. Obviously, you mentioned the consistency just about with some of the squad. How important is that being when comes to turn around and get over a while full of the?
Yeah, I think it is important as well. And also so the players know, and they're building that confidence and belief. This is a squad that we're looking to develop and grow and build. And yes, we, like Nathan said, we have got players with 15, 20 tests now, but Wales have got players with 60, 70, as you know, Sam. So that's a big difference. So, we're on a really quick trajectory in terms of our learnings. And so having that consistency is important.
As long as the players adapted to kind of that short term, obviously, landed in Australia, landed in Scotland, not really a full week to try and head it together.
Yeah, look, they've done so well, and this is part of the learning, isn't it? Is how we manage ourselves around that travel and ahead of the World Cup, and they've been so professional, and we've learned a lot of lessons along the way, and but now they're really starting to understand their bodies. They know what they need to do in part of their recovery and their sleep and their eating, and all those have been great learnings for this squad.
It's last sort of from obviously Kaitlan at my kind of shot Sean in that back line against Wales. Just how much looking to them to cover this and the step up together this week.
Yeah, they're great with ball in hand, aren't they? And Kaitlan took her opportunity really well, and on that score and that try line. So yeah, we're just looking to kind of build her confidence. And yeah, if we can get the ball into their hands, we saw how dangerous they could be. Thank you very much.
So just a couple more for me. Just that with Wales game last week. Yeah, I think you had sort of 3 or 4 new sub on the bench. And you gave a lot of girls sort of that full match experience. Was that something that you planned throughout the game, or was that just how the sort of game sort of crumbled? Like you sat building towards that last 20, it was the case of wanting to keep those 4 players up to at blind.
Yeah, it's how the game unfolded. It wasn't necessarily our exact sub plan going in, but it was a test match, and it was a test match we wanted to win. And at that point, sometimes when it gets really tight like that, making changes can be a little bit disruptive. So it was nothing against those individuals. It was just at that time we didn't think those changes were appropriate.
That's just that retain Ash Barthers in that back row to Walker. Like, can you just talk about just the value Ash can add as somebody who's, spot for Walker, but just that sort of extra ball playing ability you might like sort of lay on a bit more.
Yeah, we know that Ash is excellent in attack. She gives us that extra kind of that dynamic out wide in terms of her ability to kind of do offloads that are never normally on, but she manages to do them. And she's a really exciting player, and she brings really good energy to the group as well, which is great.
Perfect. Let's start with just to reply to the fact that being in South Africa after sort of 2 tough losses, does that just bring you energy, sort of experiencing new things and experiencing new culture down there?
Yeah, 100%. It's been a really good week so far here in South Africa. I think that's one of the beauties about international rugby. Like, we're able to travel around the world and see different places. So it's definitely been exciting. The facilities have been awesome, and it's been good to, put those losses behind us and like have a new week here and build for this game on the weekend. And with that, like, experience the cool things around South Africa. I went to Table Mountain yesterday as a group, which was a really nice team bonding activity. And yeah, it's been lots of fun.
She's original. The team, just so so getting programs that are coming. Like, are you able to time down your way? You're still making incremental growth, so it'll be valuable in 12 months' time. But come to welcome.
Sorry, I missed the first part of that. Just the audio dropped out.
Can you turn your camera up so it then?
Yeah, all right, camera off.
Cool.
Hi.
So
when the results aren't there, but you still going to sort of have that growth, see that progress. Yeah, you obviously sort of keep that bigger picture and sort of focus with a World Cup and just you are still on the right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think the good thing about this squad, like we've always talked about it being the 16 to 18 month journey. And I think what's been frustrating is that the improvements and like the camaraderie we have off the field and like at training hasn't been shown in our performances, but there's definitely been improvements each week. It's just kind of waiting for that penny to drop and fine tuning the little things for, to get the wins. But yeah, every week we're improving as a group. And I was just saying to a teammate yesterday about like how I feel as a rugby player nowadays and what I did, the last 2 years. Like, I've definitely improved in myself. So we're all getting better. It's just waiting for that penny to drop and get those final results.
It's how to helping able to play the exact same position to a week in advance, just to have an idea of knowing what to expect, but just improving those little outcomes.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we did a good review on Wales, and things that we took out of that game was more on us. Like, we talked about our game line patience and being connected and having that communication within one another. It's good playing them again because, we've got that fire in our belly to get the win, but the focus is definitely on us. They didn't really show anything that we weren't prepared for. It was just some things in terms of our game management and things that were in our control, our discipline, that we just have to improve this week to get the win.
Just fun one for me now. I guess after when you sort of go up against your own housemate and she has a better view, like how much banter comes in between that when it's post game and like that.
Yeah, I've got a couple of housemates in the team this week. So Karis the hooker and Abby Fleming the second rower. We don't talk too much about it before the game, but there's a couple like little winks and whatnot on the field. But yeah, we're all very serious players when we cross that white line. So we'll have a laugh about it and a hug after the game, but nothing too much beforehand.
Just a quick follow on that. What's it like? You used to saying so around it was way up over just sort of sharing your house with them, and then all of a sudden you've got to turn the switch. Then all of a sudden trying to take them out in a completely different environment.
I think the beauty of it is that we obviously train together all the time at Harlequin, so I kind of know how they play and know what to expect. So it's like we have those contact days within our own team. Like you're used to tackling each other and going up against one another. So just kind of flip that switch, and you also like you're representing your country, so it's a whole different ball game. You just know to turn up the occasion.
Okay, just a couple of ones from me. You mentioned kind of your quickest teammates there. Just how important do you think it is for yourself, kind of, and your rugby to be like over in the league? Wow.
Yeah, we obviously want to grow rugby in Australia and keep players in Australia, but I think where Super W is at the moment, it's good for some international players to look elsewhere and get that sort of game time and experience. It's been really good for me the past 3 years. I know there's a couple other girls who have gone international and come back and brought their skill set back into the environment and flooded it throughout the group. So yeah, it's really good. Obviously, the PWI is I'd say the best competition for women's rugby in the world at the moment. You've got internationals from all over the place. So just the caliber of players and the competition in itself is really competitive. So yeah, it definitely can't deny the experience.
But do you think it's kind of next 3 weeks in WXV it's kind of a marker of where you are heading into next year?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously we will push into being that tier 1 WXV, but being here in tier 2, like it's a really competitive competition, and a lot of the teams here, it's like it's going to end up being like who wants them more. We're all really close in the world table and pushing for obviously that World Cup. So I think the benefit of having teams that are really close together and will have really competitive games, and it's going to be about who turns up on the day and whose game plan works best, game management, all those sort of things. So it'll be a really good experience for us, and also just playing teams that we haven't really played much before. Like I've never myself have played Scotland or South Africa, so really looking forward to those experiences as well.
You mentioned about that this sort of kind of you play, you can't really play it. It's just how important you think that is for not just the Wallaroos, but the world games as a whole.
Yeah, well, it's definitely it definitely has a lot of growth in it. So obviously, like playing against teams you haven't played before, you don't know what to expect. You can do all the review you want, but it's not until you get out there on the field that you really know what they're going to throw at you. So I think in terms of growing the squad and growing like ourselves as players, we have to know what other teams are going to throw at us. And you have the likes of, not in this competition, but like playing Fiji games experience and playing kind of that jouet rugby and not really knowing what to expect. And then you're playing teams like England and Wales who definitely have more of that set piece focus and a bit more of a slower attacking game, but more physical. So it's been cool to, as players, kind of experience both and know how to combat those.
Perfect. It was not that Tania is sort of described that feeling of getting back out there last weekend, what it just meant after going to the injury.
Yeah, it was really good to get back out there with the girls, and I was really grateful to still be able to come on tour, like after sustaining that injury back in Blacktown. So, doing my rehab for the first week and missing that island game was, a bit disappointing, but I was really prepared to just help the Fookers that were playing that week. So, but it felt really good coming back to the Welsh game. Sort of a fast-tracked rehab program there, but in my head it was like just a finger, so just play on. So yeah, it was good to play.
Do you want to say the thing, like when you're a hooker, like how does that affect, like obviously, like when you're throwing your guys over goal line, how much of that was just sort of getting used to limitations that might come with and sort of a fracture like that?
Yeah, surprisingly it was okay because it was on my left hand, which is more my guiding hand for line out throwing. My power hand's my light hand. So it was really just getting used to that new splint and the feeling of having a hard splint on the ball affecting my throw. But I actually picked it up pretty fine. It was not too much of a impact on my throwing. It was more just a mental game. Getting back into contact last week was more the blocker for me. But in terms of throwing, felt all good.
Right, and just sort of when you're playing a North Hemisphere side, we're very set piece oriented, love to sort of line out more. How much do you relish that sort of opportunity, given other rugby's you play different sort of that similar side rugby, which you've batted off in the cup?
Yeah, it's definitely good to go up against these Northern Hemisphere teams, just because they do play a different style. They're playing together a lot, and so they're very experienced. We've got our sort of style of mauls and scrums in Australia, but it's not quite the same. We've got girls who have been playing for many years, whereas there's less experience, I guess, in the girls who are playing at Super W level at the moment. So
good to pack against these Northern Hemisphere girls, and happy to get that opportunity playing in this comp.
I guess we're in the field at the end there where they cross to the winner after the bell. How much does a result like that not only hurt but fuel the fire to really now turn the result that's the end of week's time?
It's always a tough match against Wales. We had a really close one last year, so it was a very similar feeling being on that field in the last few moments of the game. Like, didn't know who was going to win it. It was hurtful. Like, we were definitely hurting at the end of that game, just because we know what we're capable of as a team. And even just doing the review of the game, like, we saw like how much we were able to do as a team. It was just those discipline errors, those unforced errors that we had that really let them into the game. So I guess that hurt even more, but it does really fuel the fire for this weekend. We're just all really happy to get a second chance, a second go, and just fix those little areas of our game.
Like on review, the sort of scrum was incredibly dominant compared to the Welsh one. I think he drew 2 or 3 penalties there. Is that the better major focus, just to target that a bit more and try and use the sort of advantage you get from that, particularly close to the line?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're taking a lot of confidence out of that last game in terms of our scrum time. Like, we felt very dominant. We were very positive on the field as we were stepping into scrums. Like, hey, we've got this. Especially after that, I think second scrum we got a scrum penalty, which is a real confidence booster for us. Like, given that during the week we were kind of previewing them like as a really strong scrummaging team. They got a sort of bigger pack than us, so we thought, but we're going into that a bit less confident, I guess. But we actually, after that second scrum, we were getting around each other like, hey, we've actually got them here. So that was a really good feeling to be part of that pack that we're able to execute those scrums.
Spun one for me. You got to see good rugby teammates like Taboo, Vitala get a chance to start over the last couple of weeks. I know Patala's on the bench now, but seeing those two girls come through the system at Brumbies now get that chance. How do you see that just a great in confidence and how they could impact the game and stuff like that?
I've loved seeing them like in this environment. Been there with them since the start last year when they first got their debut. Both Bessie and I like really trying to mentor them in this environment has been really good. And just seeing Boo get her opportunity, like obviously really upsetting like when Piper was sort of taken out of our squad for this, but I'm really enjoyed seeing Boo sort of unleash a bit out there on the field. Like, she's really showing what she can do. So really happy for her there. And then just Tala, I think this was maybe her first starting 10 position for the Wallaroos, and like seeing her get that experience has been really exciting as well for her. She's such a talented young player, natural footy player. I think the more that games she gets under her belt, like the more experience she'll have, she'll be like with us in the future for a long time. Hey, Nathan.
I maybe just a couple of quick ones from me. Obviously, you kind of talking about like full experience against Wales last week. Just how tough was that, physicality wise?
It was tough. It was definitely my first match where I've played 80. I have had a few games this year at like about the 70-minute mark. So we're coming back from that injury and not doing as much on field. Like, I was a bit nervous going into that game, and especially coming back, they were kind of trying to see how I would go with my finger. So I'm thinking, am I staying in for this whole game or what's going on? But it actually felt good out there. I felt physically, I felt really good to just keep going and just put myself out there for the team.
Just how important is kind of backing up and get it to have improved on that performance and hopefully getting a man works this weekend.
Sorry, could you repeat the first part?
So just how much it kind of backing up, but fucked off, they play Wales back to back, just how important is it kind of improve on the performance from our weekend?
Yeah. It's definitely been good this week with training, like having just played them. We kind of had a preview of them and their game style last week in preparation for that game. So I think we do really know what we need to focus on, and they've got really strong mauls and we know that, and we just need, like this week we've been really focusing on our maul D strategy. So trying to stop one of their strengths has been a key focus for our set piece.
And just finally, just how important is WXV in the next tournament over the next few weeks? Yeah, headed it to World Cup next year.
super important, especially for us, our Southern Hemisphere teams. Like we definitely don't get as much game time against international teams. And so to have the opportunity to come over to the Northern Hemisphere, which is a lot of our girls have never even been to the side of the world. So to be able to do that travel and kind of prepare for the World Cup next year and just go against these different teams who play together a lot, both in the Premier League and also like internationally with their Six Nations, like they have a lot of experience. And so being able to get these 3 games under our belt each year, like leading into World Cups, is really, really positive for Australian rugby.